is so incredible. Let me show it to you. It's an endogenous operant. It encodes a self-surface receptor that can only be activated by L-alanine, and once it was activated, it triggers germinations. And it's so powerful and simple. We believe if we add a promoter PSPB, it would be better. So we do have a germination proportion experiment to test if this works. So this is like the normal Bacillus subtilis. The germination proportion is 17%. So what if it happens when we add GRA genes? The germination proportion increased to 41%. Just think about it, it's so powerful. So the normal Bacillus subtilis, the left one, germinated like this. You can see there is a lot of dots here. They don't germinate at all. It's so irregular. But when we add a gene, GRA, it turns out like this. Just look at it. They're so beautiful, and you can even see a little dots here or endospores. It's incredible. So we can say now that Bacillus subtilis can germinate efficiently. And now there's a second question. That concrete is in alkaline condition. The pH is so high that normal endospores can't survive it. So how do we do about that? That's why we put in the second key gene. It's called TUPA. This is also a gene. Let me show you. This is from Bacillus lentis C125. It's a facultative alkophilic strain. It encodes a tetrapeptide, TUP. So TUP is a highly acidic copolymer, which is also a major component of cell wall. So what do? We believe it can help in neutralizing pH, which means if the concrete has so high, the pH is so high, when we add this gene, we hope the Bacillus subtilis can survive, even in this pH. So we also do an experiment like, when pH is 9, we capture 2 samples. In the left one is a modified gene, and in the right one you see there's a WB, which means a normal Bacillus subtilis W800. When pH is 9, they all grow normally, that's fine. Let's look at how well the situation turns to pH 10. We don't see normal Bacillus subtilis at all, but also the modified genes, the modified bacteria can't survive. And here's the situation when pH turns to 11. It's extraordinary genes that can prevent it from so harsh environment. And so we can say now, with TUPA, this powerful gene, Bacillus subtilis can survive in concrete. Now, what do we do so far? It's a condition, it's a precautions to Bacillus subtilis, and we don't talk about the self-healing, right? Remember that this is an advanced self-healing machine, so how do we repair concrete? We decide to use calcium carbonates to repair concrete, as this is a substance that is so normal and is so easy. But how do we let the Bacillus subtilis produce calcium carbonate? I'm so glad to introduce our most important gene. It's called carbonic anhydrase, which means Ca. Let me show you. So this gene is a sequence from Bacillus halodurans TSELV1. It's a malloenzyme with a core that is zinc. It's catalyzed, it's an enzyme, so it catalyzes the reaction of the hydration of carbon dioxide, which means it yields free carbonic iron. So now we need to know that in concrete there is a lot of calcium iron. So when the Bacillus subtilis secretes these carbonic iron out, this reaction happens. I think we both so familiar about this. So calcium carbonate can form, that is, we can seal the concrete, seal the crack. We believe with promoter 43 and terminator RNBT1, this gene could totally functions. And we do a DNA electrophoresis. You can see the plasmid sequence in here that is so obvious. And we not just do DNA electrophoresis, we also do Western blot. And I believe you can see in Kda of 35, our protein CA expresses very obviously. So here's an enzyme activity experiment we do also next. Normally the Bacillus subtilis, the enzyme activity is pretty much low. You can't even see it, right? But what happens if we add this CA gene inside it? It changes dramatically, right? It's so obvious. It's so amazing. If I wasn't the one who do this experiment, right? I can't even believe it. So this is the calcium component. We take it under the SEM, scanning electron microscope. You might not even see this as some beautiful shape, but we'll see it later. So now with CA gene, we can say Bacillus subtilis can produce calcium component, right? So it can seal the crack. Now, just in case some of you don't get it, we have a demo.
Welcome to SZU China's project introduction. The chassis we chose this year is Bacillus subtilis for its ability to form spore, which enable the bacteria to lie dormant for extended periods and protect itself from the harsh environment, like extreme pH, high temperature, and desiccation. That is why we use the Bacillus subtilis in concrete for self-healing. In order to wake them up, we transfer the gene GRA into our bacteria and overexpress it. This gene encodes the nutrient receptor on the inner membrane, which can detect the outer nutrient substance, for example, L-alanine, and activates the germination and initiates our system through complex signaling pathways. After the spore germinates, the metabolism inside will come back to the normal status. Considering the working circumstance of our system is concrete, which has rather high pH, we need to enhance the alkaline resistance of our bacteria. Thus, we transfer two alkaline-resistant genes. The expression of gene TUPA is a kind of enzyme which can shift glucuronic acid and L-glutamic acid into polyglucuronic acid and polygamma-L-glutamic acid. These polymers will form a layer of protection barrier on the cell wall and neutralize the extracellular hydroxyl. In the meantime, we transfer the second alkaline-resistant gene, NHAC. It is the coding gene of the proton pump on the cell membrane, and this specific proton pump plays a key role in regulating cytoplasma pH value by coupling net hydrogen ions in and sodiums out simultaneously, thus can balance the intercellular pH. Last but not least is the heart of our project. We want our bacteria to be able to produce calcium carbonate. In order to do this, we transfer the gene of carbonic anhydrase. It is a highly efficient enzyme catalyzes the reversible hydration of carbon dioxide and forming bicarbonic in protons rapidly. The bicarbonic radicals will diffuse out of the cell along with the concentration gradient and combine with the hydroxyl and calcium ion in a concrete environment, which will become calcium carbonate sediments. Now, the calcium carbonate can go and fill the microcracks.
And there it is. So it looks like perfect right now, but there is one problem with Bacillus subtilis. Is that there is, I mentioned that the L-alanine is an activator of gene GRA, right? But there is a very simple problem that inside concrete, there is no L-alanine, right? So we gotta put it by ourselves. And we developed a very advanced technique that is so powerful that it can protect our spores, and it can mutually detect the microcrack. So this technique is microcapsule embedding method. Now, this name may look like a little complicated, but it's rather simple. This method is to protect spores. That's the first point. And the second point is we use microcrystalline cellulose. This is a material. So how do we do that? Well, first you got some microcrystalline cellulose in here, and you got some spores in the suspension, right? So you added the spores, been washed it into the microcrystalline cellulose. And you do it, roll it to the board, just in your hands. It's that simple. So we believe this method can protect our spores and actually attack the microcrack. And the problem is still one. There was one more thing is people always say you gotta have something concrete, right? I've talked about so much that no one ever seen how to repair it. So we do an extraordinary thing to make it really happen. It's like this. We actually do a concrete mold, and it looks like this. Can you see it? It's so tiny that you can even put it on your pockets. In fact, I've just brought one. Look like this, okay? So I'm gonna just put it here, so you can see how tiny it was. So the repairing status we've also detected, and this is the crack under the microscope, when we don't add anything but just a crack at all. So this is a crack that we added normal Bacillus subtilis, so we can make sure that it just can't repair the concrete. And this is what it looks like when we added Bacillus subtilis that have been modified totally. You can see the comparison, it's so obvious. And this is we believe the shade is the calcium carbonate that secreted by our bacteria, but we're not sure about this yet. And now, okay, so that's our part. 接下来还有